Hello, I'm Bood and welcome back to The Impossible Dream, the very last episode, the very last special of The Impossible Dream with Scunthorpe United. As always, thanks for joining me. Make sure you do all the good stuff. You know what it is by now, but mainly thank you for your view and thank you not only for watching this, but if you're watching this, I'm assuming you've watched the entire series. I've put hours into this, hard graft. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've loved it. It grew into something I never believed it would. But I also want to thank you because you've put hours into it, watching me on this adventure. So I did mention in the World Cup special that I was loving it too much. I was going to play another season, but I just haven't got the time. I'm currently building an American Premier League database, which has just got nothing but trouble. It's very complex and I'm hoping I'll get there soon. I've got another billionaire video I need to make. I've got Greeno coming to mine at the weekend. We're making a couple of videos. I just didn't have the time, so I thought, sod it. I'm going to jump forward 10 years and see what the AI does to my beloved Scunthorpe, my beloved Iron. Are they going to ruin my hard work, or would the success continue? I've no idea how long this video will go on for. I'm just going to look at a few things, nothing too in depth, not really. I've got to cut the grass, but anyway, I hope you're happy, I hope you're safe, and I hope you're ready for a farewell to Scunny. That's why I'm wearing black. I'm in mourning. So we're going to start here on my very last day in the job, and it is quite sad. I would have loved to have played a bit more just for myself, but you know, all good things come to an end and I need to move on to other things. But it's been a pleasure. As you know, we started in the Vanarama North, and like I said, I didn't know if it was going to be too similar to my Oldham series that I did earlier on in the year, where I just wanted to get them back in the Football League, and that grew into something great. And I started this one with a similar thing, starting at a lower level, a league below, in the Vanarama North, just mainly because of an article I read. I think it was Oldham beat them and Scunthorpe got relegated again, and I just thought, wow, Scunny, we'll just have a cheeky little go at it, see where it goes. And I mean, if you watch back, I'm pretty sure I mentioned, I might do 2 or 3 episodes, we'll see. And it grew into this. All in all, it's going to be 22 episodes, which is bonkers really. And we've grown the club, we battled our way through with no money, signing free players. Finally get to the Premier League, nearly got relegated, battling our way through, just edging our way to the top. And then when we got to the top, we've been fantastic. As you know, I've just won 3 Champions League back to back, and we've just become world champions, leaving this club as the #1 club in England and the entire world. I mean, whoever takes over from me, like taking over from Alex Ferguson, innit? They've got big shoes to fill. And it's a good manager in game. He's a good manager in real life. He's still got a lot to prove, I think. But it could have been worse. I was expecting a regen that we didn't know, but he's a pretty big name. One quick look at that trophy cabinet that we stacked. We stacked it. I mean, it's fantastic. To win the Europa League back in the day, I thought that was a great achievement. I think I nearly ended it once when I won the Europa League. But to go on and win multiple Premier Leagues and obviously 3 Champions League backs to back was awesome. But obviously I'd not won the Premier League, had I, in my last season. We won it twice and I lost it to City. And then we won it twice again and I just lost it to United. Is that going to be the last? Will they ever win the Premier League ever again? Well, the man who took over from me was Mikel Arteta. There's no one better than Mikel Arteta, apart from maybe me, Bood. But he didn't do a baddish job. He's now retired because it's 2054, and he did all right. He was there for 5 years. Now, if you look down here, it says Arteta took charge at Scunthorpe, where he stayed until March 2050. During his tenure, he won the FA Community Shield and 2 Premier League titles. So they did win the Premier League again. Now then, after Mikel Arteta, they brought in Matt Ingram. Right now, he's 60 at the minute. I'm guessing did he used to be a player back in the day? Played for Wycombe, Hull, Luton, Stevenage. So when I started out, he was still a player, wasn't he? Yeah. Then he became caretaker manager at Stevenage, was at Fylde, Grimsby, our rival. Wow. Carlisle, Forest Green, Bromley, Luton. I mean, he started to earn his stripes here. Norwich, Fulham, Leicester. Christ, he didn't stay long at some of these. Everton for 4 years. Then he was the England manager and got sacked by England and took over for Mikel Arteta, where he was the manager for 2 years. And he carried on the success, to be fair. So he joined us in, what, December, was it? I think. During his tenure, Ingram's team won the FA Community Shield, the Super Cup, and the Champions League. Next up, though, it wasn't a good one. No, we had Will Hughes come in to replace Matt Ingram. Remember him as a good little player in this game a few years ago. Ex-Derby player. He's been a Derby manager, Wolves manager. He lasted 150 days and got sacked. He was a bit shit. Now, another former player who was manager of Barcelona briefly, manager of Inter for 2 years, been manager of PSG for 3 years, was manager of Roma for 2 years. I mean, his manager pedigree is good and his attributes look good. I don't know what they were doing with that Will Hughes appointment. Matt Ingram was okay, and I can see why they did it. He's just come from England. But this guy's got more pedigree. He's only been here for 200 days. Apparently he's wanted. Didn't know you could do that with a manager. Wanted by Reading. What, as manager? So hopefully he can turn it around, because the club, you know, they won a couple of titles, won the Champions League, but they didn't have the best season. So this was my last season, of course. Well, Mikel Arteta got the title back the next year. Fair play, mate. The year after, runners-up, Liverpool won the league. And then Mikel Arteta won it again, beating Arsenal, of all teams. And then Scunthorpe were runners-up. So for a good few years, top two, winning titles, top two. That's fair enough. That's what I was doing. And then, boom, ninth. Wow, back up to second, back down to seventh. Where are they now? Fourth, ninth. So I think that first ninth was that when Arteta got the sack, and then it's been a bit average, but finishing ninth. Scunny this season won't even be in European football. We know they did win the Champions League. Was it Matt Ingram beating Real Madrid in the final in Serbia? That's pretty good. And there's something else. Will Hughes might have only lasted 150 days and then he got the sack. But in that short, brief period, of course, Scunny went back to the FIFA Club World Cup, which I won in 2045. Liverpool won it the next year and won it. So the current world champions, but they're not in Europe, but they are current world champions. So there's a lot of positives. So this could have gone tits. This could have gone downhill fast without me. But you know, it's not been perfect. It would have. I'd have kept us, mate. I'd have kept it going. I know I will, because I'm a human. I think we're better than the computer. But as someone who's put a lot of effort into this, I don't always do these. People always ask me. I don't like seeing all my hard work go down the shitter. But I'm pleasantly okay. I'm happy. This is the current squad, and a couple of my boys are actually still here. A 36-year-old left back who I can't pronounce his name. He's retiring. Jamie is now 36. He's still here. David Kanoga, he's still at 35. Wow. Sergio is still here, 31. Is he only still 31? God, he was a baby. Sergio's the guy in the World Club Cup special who scored that banana shot with his left foot against Liverpool, I think it was. Now, the first thing I looked at when I saw this squad is great. A couple of old boys are still here. The wages have definitely come down. So they brought that under control, because I was spending quite a lot. Second highest in the league, I think it was, behind Man United when I left. But it was the fact that my two WONDERKIDS were no longer here. One of them took a move a few years ago, maybe recently, to Man City. And another one just wasn't getting played. They didn't develop him. And my idea was, if I played that next season, I was going to sell a midfielder to give him a permanent slot, to give him game time, and I think he would have been fantastic. Starting with Regan Eden, who is the first WONDERKID I can remember coming out of one of my academies on YouTube. Definitely, I don't think I've ever done it. Right, and the fact that we got two was amazing. He's now an elite attacking midfielder. He's only 28 years old. Joined Man City. Looks like it recently-ish. 5 years ago. It's recent enough. 128 games, 28 goals. Again, I don't think he's developed into what he could have. And that's what annoys me. I knew he could have been special. He is a good player and he is special. The next lad is world class and he looks good, but I think he could have been better. I do. 26-year-old Abuba Ishiwemwe, or whatever his name is. Another one of our own, a kid that came through, French, but came through our academy. Scunny's his first club, his first love. Well, they sold him in 48 to Inter. Didn't stay long by the looks of it. Went to Rennes, he's been to Lyon. And now he's come back to England playing for Reading, who were a decent side, didn't they? I don't know if you remember. They became quite good. This is the club's overall best ever 11. You've got Marley, my striker, on the right. Really? Demetrius, he was a good player. He's up top. Got Bar on the left. Leone, another one of mine. Paolo and Jamie in the middle. Sergio and Kanoga, but they're still there. You can see why. Wenzel was fantastic. The goalkeeper's a bit of a weird one. So I do want to look at some of the lads that meant something to me. I know there's probably players that you remember, but I'm just going to look at some of the lads that meant something to me, more in the recent history. Maybe a couple of the old boys. I'll have a quick look. Starting with Marley, because he was a fucking purchase. Wow, well, he's now a manager, an unemployed manager. He looks like he's just retired. And he stayed at Scunthorpe, which is absolutely brilliant. Leone brought him in last few years, helped us dominate, right? He's gone to PSG in 51. He's still there. He's 37, and look how good he is. He was like a quiet guy. He never shone out in live comms or anything, but he was just an absolute baller. Mustafa Bar, man. My first mega purchase. It cost me like 100 million combined. I'll always remember that because he was like my first big time player. I felt, wow, this is an elite level player. They can get a few more of these. We'll be all right. It looks like he left in 50 and spent the last few years of his life in Germany. Little Jamie, he's still there. Still there. 5'7". When I got him in, he was class. My worry was he was so small, right? But he was brilliant. He's still there. What an absolute legend of a player. Wenzel, great right back. Again, he was an absolute beast of a player. When did he leave? A couple years after me. Went to Bayern for a bit. Then PSG. Don't know why it says it twice. Not a clue. He's now retired, 38 years old. Sad times, man. Quick look at some of my other favourite players. A little Ukrainian, what a player he was. Well, he left in 49, went to Real Madrid. Fair play. I mean, wow. I would have sold him because he was very special. He was a wonder kid, but we brought him in. I think it was like 15 million minimum fee, and what a bargain that was. You've got to love a bit of Enrico Domk. Now, he's only just retired. He never left. What a player. He's a legend, by the way. Did he score an hat-trick in one of them games in the World Cup? Do you remember him? I've got to give a shout out to my mate, Greenie. He tagged me in something on Twitter. Not Greeno, another one. Because someone's tweeted out, remember the name Divino Mumbama, or whatever his name is. I always called him the Divine Umbama, because he was brilliant for us. I mean, how long did he stay? Why is it sideways? 6 years he was with us. I picked him up from West Ham on a free. Discarded by West Ham. 124 goals in 201 games. Big Matthew. He was a great player. I picked him up from PSG because they didn't want him, right? And we developed him. He was a good player. I got him when I think we were in the Championship. I'm pretty sure of that. And he was one of them where I thought eventually I might move on from him. But he kept getting better. And then I remember getting in the Premier League and I think Fulham offered me 31 million for him. I'm like, wow, that was a lot of money for us. I turned it down. I was right too, because he stayed for 10 years and he was fantastic. And then in the end, you start getting better players. We started to become more of an elite club. And he wanted to leave. And I sold him to Dortmund. And I didn't know this because I didn't look into it. But it looks like he wasn't there that long. And then Bayern bought him. Now, we had many assistants along the way. But Sal Schimel, a regen assistant, was brilliant. I brought him in 2039 and he was my assistant through the real glory years at the back end of my career. He was fantastic. Now, he didn't leave with me. He stayed, which is fair enough. I was happy with that. But then got poached off Manchester United. He's had a stint as their caretaker manager as well. I just thought I'd share that one with you because he was class. It's always good having good staff, good assistants, good coaches, and mine was amazing. Ben Lyons, who we sold, can't remember who to. Did he go to Korea or Blackburn? Didn't play, go to Korea. Ends up finishing his career in Switzerland. He held the record for the most goals scored in a season for a very, very long time. But he was just one of them players that in them first few years where we had no money and we were climbing up, getting into the Championship, where you might remember, I used to just go, wait for the day when everyone got released. I'd go through every single Premier League club, see who they released, and I was picking up 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds, 22-year-old players who were no good for Man United or Chelsea or whatever, and in Bolton, but and signing them for free, and some of them turned out so good. Like, it was brilliant. I loved the arc of this, the hard graft of it, the no money bit. but then turning into a club with money, watching everything develop, the players, the staff, our reputation, the stadium. Now we improved the old stadium over and over again, and then we got the new one, and that got boosted. But it got boosted, remember, because I had a Tycoon takeover. So what would have been episode 21, you'll remember, I got a Tycoon takeover, got a load of money, it kicked us on. We did really well. In them 2 seasons I played off camera before the World Cup. But when I left, he sold up. A bit gutted about that. Now when I did leave as well, because I had such a fantastic staff, I'd given them all contracts recently. I was hoping they'd all stay, but massive group of them, I hate that. When you leave, it says, oh, mass exodus. And they did lose a lot of staff, which is rubbish, but it is what it is. So, yeah, I've done these the odd occasion, and now I'm doing it. I don't know why I've done it. I don't know if I'll do this ever again on a long-term series that I loved, because it just annoys me a little bit. See, because it's still good, but just seeing your team, I don't know. I knew that just seeing them take a step back and not be as good as it could have been. I mean, it's been going on that long now. The graph has forgotten about our non-league days, but you can see here the Championship, we didn't even win that, but the entire Premier League journey is here on the graph. So what, 16th? I know we said we nearly got relegated. It felt like we did. There was a point I spent a lot of that season, I'm sure, did in the bottom 3. Then we got to 9th, then 8th, then a 3rd place finish, then we dropped down to 6th, and then it was fantastic. 1-1, 2nd, 1-1, 2nd, and then this is after me. And that stayed, you know, nice. Win 2nd, win 2nd, win 2nd, and recently, Christ, on a bike. Wow. So yeah. Still classed, maybe it's the World Championships, as the 2nd biggest club in England. But now the 7th biggest club in the world, so they took a drop there. Man United on top. I can't say I'm offended by that. So yeah, it's Man United are the best English team in the world, and it's us still. You know, Newcastle on there, Chelsea down there. What happened to Man City? You've got to love that, haven't you? Wow. So is that when they won the title in between me, when we were still battling out, when they were still City? I mean, before that they were a bit here and there and everywhere, weren't they? And then 10th, 11th, 12th. I love that. What, 14th? City have gone shit. So we know they've won a couple of trophies. Let's see if they've been nearly men. As you know, this is the history of the league, and we know what they did. Look at that though, by the way. When they came runners-up in 2050-51, Wolves won the league. Wolves, well done, man. That's quality to see. Let's check out the FA Cup. And we know they won 1. Look at Wolves are a team now, aren't they? Can't see them in the runners-up. What about the Carabao Cup? Well, I was a runner-up against United, but then I beat Tottenham a few times in the final. And then Scunny, to be fair, I got to a few runners-up 3 times. Community Shield, I always did well in that. I think I won it every time I was in it, I'm pretty sure. And Scunny won a couple more, as we know, but also lost a couple back-to-back against United. Now, I know they won the Champions League. I think I've already looked at this. I showed you earlier. They beat Real Madrid. But did they get to any other finals? No, they didn't. This is the history of the Europa League. Look at that, Clermont. Aston Villa got one. It's good, isn't it? I never won this, did I? We never got to this level. I think we went to Europa League, Champions League. But they might have done. Some of them lower finishes, but they didn't get in the conference either. So I think that's enough. I didn't want to go into it in too much detail. It is a little bit heartbreaking, but it's also okay. They've still done okay, and they're in a good place still. They've not completely dropped off a cliff. They didn't get relegated. They've still won trophies. They've got a good manager in now, and hopefully, you know, in a fantasy world, another dimension, they're going to go on and have lots more glory. But yeah, I just wanted to show you a few of the players and where they've been, and I think that's it. Oh, I miss it. I'm going to miss this series, man. Well, there we have it. This is the last time you're going to see me sat in the Scunthorpe office, although it's always the same office. I'll just change the poster. But thank you. Honestly, thank you for supporting the series. It means the world to me. It did grow into something special. I've enjoyed it. It's been hard. I've put a lot of time into it, but it was a pleasure. And hopefully you enjoyed how it all came about. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Just a little look into the future on it. So, yeah. I'm going to miss it, you know. Honestly, I would have carried this on. I wish I could. But you can't, can you? All good things come to an end. And I do have an idea for another series that's going to see me out of FM23. I've got stories planned. Like I said, I've got another billionaire challenge video, which is different. I think it's quite good. 2 videos with Greeno that I'll be doing over the weekend. They're good. I think they're going to be good. I've got head to head and a direct to a football challenge. So yeah, something a little bit different. So thank you, honestly. I'm dragging this out. I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave Scunthorpe for good. But you have to sometimes. You have to. But anyway, you take care. You stay safe. Make sure you do all the good stuff for me. I know you will. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye and bye-bye the iron. It's been a pleasure. Iron Army forever.